We got a special episode of today of Locked On Coyotes. We go ahead and introduce a special guest from the Tucson Roadrunners. We talk to all of Tucson. Be sure to stick around on this episode of Locked On Coyotes.
You're Locked On Coyotes, your daily podcast on the Arizona Coyotes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Robyn and Carl Pavlik right beside me, my wonderful co-host. Hope you guys are all doing well on this Christmas week. I know it's a long week ahead of you. We got a lot of hockey ahead of you, but I am excited for this episode. I'm not sure how excited you are, Carl, because we got a special guest. Those who are watching on YouTube can see right below me. We have a special guest, Adrian Denny, voice of the Tucson Roadrunners, joins us on today's episode of Locked On Coyotes. Adrian, thanks for coming on the show. We really appreciate you, and welcome to Locked On Coyotes.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
So how we're going to go ahead and format this episode to those who are listening is we're going to go ahead and just ask some questions about Adrian, get to know him so you guys can understand who is the man behind the mic of the Tucson Roadrunners. So I guess first thing is, Adrian, this is your fourth season now with the Coyotes?
Fourth season in Tucson. Yep.
And how did you get your start with the Roadrunners and just your broadcasting career? Because I'm pretty sure you've been in hockey for quite a while.
Yeah, this is my 20th year in pro hockey. 2002, 2003 was my first year in the AHL with the Utah Grizzlies when they were in the American Hockey League, and I was with them for 3 seasons before I became the play-by-play announcer on radio and television when I was 23, and held that position for 13 years, and was also vice president of communications and broadcasting for the team, and did pretty much every job during the course of my time there. Hockey operations, business operations, everything, but basically coached the team on the ice. And 3 years ago, an opportunity came up over the summer to come to Arizona and join the Coyotes organization and the Roadrunners, and made sense for me personally, made sense for my career, and it's been everything I could have ever hoped for and more.
And how has let's go into that experience that you've had with Tucson so far. And like we just said, 4 years now. This Roadrunners team is quite, you've seen quite a bit of it, and you've seen quite a bit of change throughout the organization, and you've seen it quite a lot. So how have you liked it?
I've loved it. I've loved everything about Tucson. It's my kind of place. You can tell when you go somewhere that it kind of fits you, and Tucson fits me, and the people are amazing, friendliest people that I've ever met. They embraced me when I got here, and I've become friends with hundreds of them, and love Tucson, love our rink, love the organization, love the outdoors, and love the warm temperatures, and it fits everything that I'm all about. And I couldn't be happier to be with the Roadrunners. And when I came to Tucson, there were some items that we wanted to accomplish right off the bat. We wanted to continue our community involvement and be part of the community 365 days a year. We have 34 hockey games during the regular season, but Tucson's our home year round, and we wanted to make sure that we were involved in every aspect of the community, with every part of the community, and working hand in hand with every organization, every school, every neighborhood, and really showing them that the Roadrunners are here. It's our home, and we want to be involved in everything, while at the same time growing the game of hockey and picking up new fans and new partners in the process, and we're extremely proud of where we've gotten, and back at it after the 10-month pause and last year's abbreviated season, and we really feel like we used that year and a half to grow in the community, to grow our brand, and really made a positive of the whole situation that was out of our control.
Yeah. Adrian, I have to say, like, as a primarily a Coyotes fan and a Venetian more so than anything, because I have been down to Tucson multiple times to go to Roadrunners games. They definitely have a very different atmosphere to those games. It's definitely a different vibe going to a Roadrunners game versus going to a Coyotes game. Like, how have you guys kind of created that like separate, like really cool atmosphere that's like distinct, but also just pure Arizona hockey?
I think it just starts with the fans that have been there since day one, and they set the tone in the arena for what the atmosphere is going to be, and when new folks come in, they pick up on it. It's contagious. It's something you want to be a part of. And one thing in our building, I think you come in and you just see a bunch of people that want to come have a good time and cheer on the Roadrunners. And it's about cheering on the Roadrunners. And hopefully we win every game, but we're not going to win every game. And win or lose, I think you feel the same vibe, the same positivity, and the same support from our fans. And kudos to the group that's been there since day one, that helped set the tone and start building what we had envisioned when we started the team. And it's TCC's an unbelievable venue. It's perfect for us. It's hockey in Tucson. It has been for 40 years, and we're excited to just continue it.
It's funny because I think I went to the earliest Tucson hockey game of the three of us because I first went to a Tucson hockey game in 2012 to see ASU play U of A, like way before there was any kind of NCAA presence in Arizona, way before the Roadrunners. And it's crazy to see that building just kind of develop over the past couple of years.
Yeah, it's great, and hockey's got a long history in Tucson, and the Ice Cats started it, and there's been pro hockey and some different capacities since the 70s, but we're really proud to be the one that came and is going to be here for good.
And that's what I liked about the Roadrunners too, because they built the culture here down in Tucson, especially. I think I've seen more down here in Tucson than before, is growing that Latinx culture. Obviously, for myself as someone of Latinx background, I've really appreciated that, right? And with the El Lasso coming last year, I loved it. I was telling everyone, showing this to my family, I was like, I need one of these jerseys. And I even had friends of mine, other hosts of the Locked On podcast across the network. They came for a couple games, I think, towards the end of last season. They were they were at a No Lasso game, and they saw just the way that Tucson treated that community, and they've loved it.
We are Tucson, and that's what we're thinking about every minute of every day. We're everything that Tucson is, and El Lazo for us was it's kind of one of those magical things that just kind of came together and became what it was, and everything that embodies Tucson is El Lazo, and big part of Tucson is the Hispanic heritage, and it's a wonderful thing, and we want everybody involved in it's you've got the Hispanic heritage, you've got the university campus, you've got the snowbirds, you've got the folks that just happen to move here for a job, maybe in the Air Force, that fell in love with the place and retired, and it's a special community, and everybody that's in Tucson loves it and wants to be here, and I'll tell you, our players that come here it's home. It's home from day one, and you just can't describe it unless you've been here and been a part of it.
Absolutely. We are talking with Adrian Denny, voice of the Tucson Roadrunners. We are going to continue this conversation on this episode of Locked On Coyotes. But first, I want to let you guys know that you listen to podcasts for the power of the inside track. You switch to Boost Mobile for the power of saving money. Because with Boost, you get the power of a free 5G phone so you can listen to the latest episodes and keep up with your favorite players and teams. The power of 3 unlimited data lines for $30 a month per line so your family can share all of the insights. And the power of America's largest 5G networks so you can do it all at the speed of 5G. With all that money you save and all the edge you'll gain, just how powerful will you become? Switch to Boost Mobile and find out. Get a free Samsung Galaxy A32 5G when you switch to one of America's largest 5G networks. Say more power to save. Boost Mobile. Free phone limited to new customers and one per line. Additional restrictions apply. Offers and coverage not available everywhere. For all new phones and networks, see boostmobile.com for details. So we're back here on Locked On Coyotes. Robyn Leonio and Carl Pavlik. Adrian Denny, voice of the Tucson Roadrunners, joining us on today's episode. Let's go ahead and get to some things, Adrian, I want to talk to you about is obviously Tucson is one of the biggest, it is the top development team for the Arizona Coyotes. We've seen lots of call-ups over the years. In fact, at the time of this recording, there was just a recent call-up with Carcone and Spears getting called up to the Arizona Coyotes. Talk about the talent that we've seen for the Tucson Roadrunners just over these last few years, because we've seen some really awesome talent pass through Tucson.
Yeah, I'd take it a step forward. I'd say that the Roadrunners aren't just the top development team in the Coyotes organization. I'd say the Roadrunners have been the top developmental team in hockey over the last 6 seasons. Blake Spears and Mike Carcone getting called up today. They flew to Los Angeles with us last night and woke up this morning and was coming back from a run along the beach in El Segundo, where we were staying and where we practiced today, and saw Mike Carcone walking out of the hotel, and I thought, well, it's kind of early for him to be going to the rink for practice. We don't practice till noon, and then found out that him and Blake Spears had just gotten called up, and Mike's first game will be his NHL debut. And we've had 12 guys this year. We're just over 2 months into the season. Wednesday marked the 2-month mark of the regular season opening in Stockton, and we've already had 12 guys on both rosters for the Roadrunners and the Coyotes, and we've had 10 guys from our opening night roster be on the Coyotes roster as well and play in a game. We've had Mike will be the fifth Roadrunner to make his NHL debut this year. Dyson Mayo, Camden Ean, Ben McCartney, JJ Moser just the other night, and Mike will be the fifth. And it's been amazing. And I think you look at this coaching staff, at Jay Verity in his 3rd year with the Roadrunners, his 4th in the organization, but John Slaney and Steve Potvin in their 5th seasons in Tucson. John was an assistant with the Coyotes the year before he came down our first year, and Steve Potvin was a skills coach, and they're just they're brilliant hockey people from an X's and O's standpoint, from a development standpoint, and Jay coming in was the perfect complement after that amazing second season that we had in Southern Arizona, and our coaching staff's been amazing. They always tip the hat to the leadership group for setting the culture, but they don't give themselves enough credit, as you would expect. But it's something. I mean, you've got the leadership group this year that was first year, second year Roadrunners. A couple years ago. Before that, it was same thing, and at some point it started, and it's just amazing to watch the guys develop here, and then go up and turn on the Coyotes game that night. And usually we've got a story of something awesome that happened, and it all started with the Roadrunners, and our organization takes a tremendous amount of pride in it, and so does the fans and our community as a whole. It's it's a lot of fun to be a part of, and we're really proud of it.
And let's look back
Yeah.
real quick to the some of the other players over the last couple years that have made their debuts with the Arizona Coyotes that have been contributors that have been with the Coyotes for a while. Some probably not even with the team anymore, but I look at Connor Garland, who was huge with the Tucson Roadrunners before becoming a major factor in Arizona, and now in Vancouver. Kyle Capobianco, he's doing some pretty good stuff this season. Christian Fischer was part of the Arizona Coyotes season, or the Tucson Roadrunners, I think, in year one, and probably even early on in that second year. Now with now with Arizona, so that we're continuing to see lots of good players go up, and that's been my favorite part. My favorite part about covering the Tucson Roadrunners, seeing that and seeing the future of the NHL.
Yeah, and guys come in and this is where it starts. I mean, Connor Garland, Dyson Mayo, I think probably would tell you that their games evolved with the Roadrunners. Dyson has said before he was an offensive defenseman in juniors, and Ivan Prosvetov even told us last week. He's like, pro hockey's different. There's junior games where you're just going to walk all over everybody. It's all going to be easy. Connor is a forward. Like you can get away with stuff in juniors. It's fun, but when you come here, you're a phone call away from the NHL, as we saw, and it's a power game. It's a heavy game, and you've gotta play every aspect of it. And I think we've taught the guys what they need to do to go to the next level and be successful. And it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of hard work and talking with our coaches and how proud they get after seeing a night where Matthias Michelli has a 5-point night and a future Coyote and we talked about the guys like Garland and Michael Bunting, who 4 or 5 years here of just blood, sweat, and tears every day. And we're talking about guys that'll never be at this level again. And I think Dyson Mayo's another one that's gone up and earned himself a job that is gonna be where he wants to be for a long time.
Yeah, I can definitely say, like, from watching Coyotes prospects from drafting through all these stages of development, like Connor Garland was not on my radar until he had a few years in Tucson. And like the fact that they were able to develop him into the player that he became, like that's just like speaks phenomenally for that program. Like it's definitely something to watch where like just who's going to come out of Tucson, because there's always someone who's kind of like ready to break through.
Yeah, and who's going to come out of Tucson and never come back? Michael Bunting got the call last year. Lane Peterson got it last year. Connor got it in 2018, 2019. Aiden Hill eventually got it.
Yeah.
Never came back. Dyson Mayo, Cam Deneen might be another one. They look really good up there.
That they do. They do. And most of them aren't with the Coyotes anymore, so they're not with me either. It's sad to see them go.
Yeah, I mean, you get attached to these guys. You're with them every day for a 6-month stretch, and have to talk to them at breakfast. Like, hey, I need this signed. Can you sign this? And then I need you to do an interview if you don't mind. And we'll get back to the point where we're talking about going out in the community 2-3 times a week, and these guys become part of your family. It's just pro hockey. Like you're on the bus with them, you're traveling, you see them in the hotel lobby, you see them after a big game, a big win, and you can enjoy it together, and you really become close with these guys. And when they get called up, and in a lot of cases never come back, you couldn't be happier.
Absolutely. We're talking with Adrian Denny, voice of the Tucson Roadrunners, on today's episode of Locked On Coyotes. We'll finish up this conversation in just a sec, but first we still got a couple words to get, so let's go ahead and turn over to Carl.
Hey, so BetOnline has you covered all season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. As football season continues its march to the playoffs, BetOnline remains your number one spot for all sports action this season. Over to our new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code LOCKEDON to receive the bonus. From basketball, football, NHL, boxing, and UFC, right down to your favorite Vegas casino sports. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Okay, now let's wrap things up on this episode of Locked On Coyotes. Whenever I bring up a special guest, especially who is a member of the anywhere in the media scene here in Arizona, I always like to bring up share stories and everything like that we've gone through in the over the years in press. And before I get to your favorite story, Adrian, I actually want to bring this one up, and it's because it's something that was actually pretty big that kind of affected everyone in the last couple of years, and that was that day that the world shut down with the coronavirus. We were all at the last Roadrunners game that happened. I believe it was the night before. I think we were all chatting around. We saw on the news as it was happening, as that game was unraveling towards the end. I think a lot of us kind of understood that would be our last time at that arena for a long time.
Yeah, no, it wasn't fun. And it's just how stuff happens, how stuff goes. You control what you can control and you make the best out of the adversity. And we knew the season was ending after that game. Our players knew. They were kicking the soccer ball around when the NBA got suspended with the Rudy Gobert situation, testing positive in Oklahoma City. They knew, like, we didn't play well. We were distracted. Probably wasn't the best broadcast I've ever had. I don't know, but yeah, it was a sad night. And the next less than 24 hours later, I was on a flight back home to Salt Lake for what I thought was going to be originally a quick trip home to take care of some things and then meet the team in Colorado the next week for our games, and eventually turned into something I thought would be a 7 to 10 day stretch, and ended up being a month before I was just sick and tired of the rain and the gloom and the snow and springtime in Salt Lake and had to get back to Arizona. And 9 months after that, we were back at the building with ice starting up, and everything that happened during the 2021 season, there were restrictions, there were guidelines, and I don't think I've ever enjoyed a season more with a group of guys that I had more fun with, just because we were together. We were doing what we love to do, where we want to be, and we played hard every night and went through adversity together, and just found a way. But it was extremely rewarding to be part of that season, and we're just all thankful that we were able to play, just to be back at the rink and see each other, and not walk into the Tucson arena and look at the hockey floor and see concrete and nobody's around and stuff hasn't been touched in 8 months. So that's kind of how the process went, but never been happier to be back at the rink. And I hear people say that they'll never take the game day grind, the season for granted again. And for me, I've always just kind of been happy to be here. It's something I just love so much. I love everything about the job. It's not a job, it's a passion. And as somebody that's never thought, oh, let's just get through this game and have a Sunday, like, I've never felt that. But taking it up another level for the appreciation for the game and the Roadrunners and our players and coaches and staff. You just happy to be here, even today. And just want to keep pushing through, and hopefully we're at a point that sometime as soon as possible we can not talk anything else about it before the documentaries start to come out, because it's finally done.
Absolutely. Jefferson and Carl.
No, I'm just gonna say I look forward to those documentaries because I imagine they will be fascinating. I could just disassociate and be like, oh yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, can't come soon enough.
Yeah.
All right, so now let's get to my favorite part, and that is, sharing your favorite stories. This could be a favorite interaction you had with a player or a coach, or something that happened during a game, during a broadcast. Something that if you were to tell somebody about your job as voice of the Tucson Roadrunners, be the first thing you tell someone about, this happened.
Let's see. With Tucson, I really enjoyed the playoff run that we went on in the 2018-2019 season.
Nice.
We were 11 points out of a playoff spot on March 14th. And I told people I've never been less worried we're going to do this. We're doing this. And we went on an incredible run, and we took over the fourth playoff spot for a little bit. And it encompassed some long road trips and some fun nights at the TCC, and we came up 1 point short. And I've never been more devastated in hockey than leaving the rink that night and not making the playoffs. But the month that we went through with that group was it was what everything's all about. And we made a run. We cut 11 points to a 1 point lead going into the final night of the regular season. So that would be one. Last year, watching Michael Bunting, who's my favorite hockey player that I've ever watched in my entire life, and one of my favorite people that I've ever met, and watching him go up and getting that hat trick in LA at Staples Center when the Coyotes were in a playoff spot after a really nice run by them. That I really enjoyed all of that, and Lane Peterson going up and sticking there, and I think those would probably be my top two favorite things, and Lane might be my second favorite hockey player of all time at this point.
Awesome. Carl, do you have anything else?
No, I just want to thank you for coming on. That's I remember Bunting coming up, and that's just I had no idea. I can only imagine what was like seeing him from the other side and being like, this is a guy who can make it in the NHL, and he has just kind of proven me wrong, and I've been happy about that every single step of the way. Where I'm like, I don't know if he can sustain this, and it's like, no, he can sustain this. It's nice. It's nice to watch him develop into an NHL player.
The reason him and Connor Garland and Lane Peterson spent 3, 4, 5 years in Tucson and went up to the NHL and never came back is Steve Potvin, our associate head coach, uses the verbiage, these guys take the information we're giving them and they put it to use. And those guys just never stopped taking the information and putting it to use, to the point that when they got their call-ups, they were ready to go, ready to become full-time NHL players.
And that's what I liked about the coaching staff, right? You mentioned Potvin, of course. He's been around for, I believe, all the years, or unless at least the second year.
Yeah, no, he has been, because his first year, our first year in Tucson, he was a skills coach for the Coyotes, and so he was in the building every day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he's been a major part of the development for Tucson, and yeah, I've loved seeing him, and I was glad he got the opportunity to fill in for Jay Verde while he was up helping with the Coyotes during the pandemic season.
He did an unbelievable job. You can't say enough about it. And Steve's a family man, and so's John Slaney, and so's Jay, and these three just work together. Just they're three peas in a pod, and Steve did a phenomenal job last year, and he enjoyed it, and he's a hockey guy, and his family's grown up playing hockey in Arizona, and so is John Slaney, and this is where they want to be, and this is where they want to coach, and we're really lucky that Arizona is so important to both of them, that we've been able to keep them here in these capacities since basically day one.
Absolutely. Adrian, I want to thank you once again for coming on to Locked On Coyotes. I usually like to leave the closing thoughts of this episode to guests to share, how more people can find you, listen to you, any of those sort of things, what your platforms are, as well as any other thoughts that you might have on these closing thoughts.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, and we're excited to keep moving, and guys get called up, and it creates opportunities for other guys to become the next star of the Roadrunners, and that's what we're going to have coming up on this road trip to Ontario, to Abbotsford. More opportunities for more guys. It's exciting. It's fun. It's what we're here to do. Move guys up to the next level, and keep going with the guys that are ready to take the next steps here. So thanks for having me. We have our Roadrunners Insider podcast every week, dropping Sunday nights on the iHeartRadio app. We've got Roadrunners Happy Hour Tuesday nights at 5 on Fox Sports 1450 AM in Tucson on the iHeartRadio app. I've got Roadrunners TV reports at TucsonRoadrunners.com every Monday and every game day. And then, of course, all the game action on those same platforms. So appreciate everybody who tunes in and has supported the Roadrunners, and we're just excited to keep growing hockey in Arizona, and excited for what the future holds for both us and the Coyotes, and ultimately hoisting a Stanley Cup in Phoenix.
Awesome. And would you also like to share your social media so people can also find you there if they have yet to already?
Yep, you can follow me on Twitter at AZ Adrian Denny, and that's my favorite platform.
Absolutely. Once again, Adrian Denny of the Tucson Roadrunners on this episode of Locked On Coyotes. It's been a great episode, a great conversation we had. We got a lot of other great stuff coming for you on this week, so be sure to stay tuned to Locked On Coyotes. But this is it for today's episode. Hope you guys like what you heard. If you did, don't forget to leave a review, like, comment, subscribe if you yet to already. We are available everywhere you get your podcast, including on YouTube for those who want to watch our video form of the podcast. Don't forget to interact with us on social media. We are at LO_Coyotes. I am personally at Robyn_Leano, but it's Robyn with a Y_LEANO. Carl Pavlik is at Carl Pavlik FFH. We're also on Facebook at facebook.com/LockedOnCoyotes. Interact with us, ask us a question you might have. We can answer them right back or on a future episode of the Locked On Coyotes podcast. Thanks again, everyone, for coming on to the episode. And thanks to Adrian for also hopping on and chatting with us. Hope you guys are all staying safe out there. Hope you guys are staying healthy. And don't forget to howl on.